I said, "Why couldn't you just," to my husband, and he completely lost it on me. My husband Jake came home from work last night around 11:30, and I could tell immediately something was wrong. His whole vibe was just off. The weird thing was we'd been texting on and off all day, and he seemed totally fine. I asked him if he was okay. He said yes. I asked if he wanted to talk about it. He said no, so I asked again just to make sure, and he said he was sure he didn't want to talk. Then I asked how his shift went because he works second shift at the warehouse, and he looked super stressed but kept saying he was fine. I followed him outside where he was sitting on our front steps, just staring at nothing. Here's the thing about Jake. He's told me a million times that I need to push him to talk because he has a hard time opening up on his own. And if I don't keep asking, he gets mad later and says I don't care about his feelings or support him enough. So I sat down next to him and started rubbing his back. I was trying to be supportive like he always says he wants me to be. I asked if he wanted dinner because I was about to make food and he said no. That's when I said it. Why couldn't you just tell me that earlier? And I swear I said it in the nicest way possible. I was whispering and still rubbing his back. We'd literally been texting earlier about me making him dinner because he'd been coming home starving lately. Plus, we'd gotten into this whole argument last week about how he expects me to make multiple fresh meals every day because he doesn't want leftovers. But I can't help that dinner's ready at 6 and he doesn't get home until almost midnight. We have 2 kids. I can't just wait around all night to cook. The second those words left my mouth, everything changed. Jake ripped his baseball cap off his head and started rubbing his face really aggressively with both hands. I asked what happened and what I did wrong. He stood up and stormed inside the house. I followed him in and kept asking what was going on. He told me he couldn't even explain because he was tired of repeating himself and that I should already know what I did wrong. But I genuinely had no idea. We've been arguing basically every other day recently, so I couldn't figure out which thing he was mad about this time. He went back outside and I waited for him to come back in. When he finally did, I asked him to please just explain what I did that was so wrong. That's when he exploded. Apparently the problem was me starting a sentence with, "Why couldn't you just?" He said that phrase was disrespectful and not how I should talk to him or anyone for that matter. I stood there completely confused. I wasn't yelling when I said it. I wasn't being mean. I literally just asked a simple question in the softest voice possible while rubbing his back. But according to Jake, the way I phrased the question was the issue, not even what I was asking about. He went on this whole rant about how I always talk to him like he's stupid and how I need to watch my tone and word choices. Meanwhile, I'm thinking about how I spent 20 minutes following him around trying to get him to open up because that's what he claims he needs from me. The next morning, he was still mad. He gave me the silent treatment during breakfast and left for work without saying goodbye. Later, he texted me this long message about respecting communication, but he still wouldn't explain exactly what was so terrible about asking, "Why couldn't you just tell me something?" Now I'm sitting here wondering if I'm going crazy or if this is actually as ridiculous as it seems.